So hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today with the beautiful Melora Walters. This is Izabela Vidovic with Almost Normal Productions, and Melora and I are in our latest film, The Accursed, together. And I am here to talk to her today because she's fabulous in the film, and I'd love for you all to hear some of her thoughts about working on it. So how are you today?
I'm,
Besides freezing.
I'm happy to be talking to you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I see. Are you sitting against one of your art pieces?
It's in progress, so I thought it was okay.
No, I love that. I love seeing your art. If you all haven't seen, she has it up on her Instagram. So she's very talented as an artist as well. So, Melora, we filmed The Accursed in 2019, which is crazy to believe that it's coming up on 3 years. And now that it's out and now that you've seen it, I would be curious to know, you do play Naida, but if you could play any one of the other characters in The Accursed, male or female, who would it be?
I mean, that's an impossible question to answer. I met your mother and Catherine, and they had sent me the script, and I liked the story, and I liked the character, and I met with them, and so I became her. I don't like.
Right. No, completely. I think that's a completely fair answer because nobody else has said that yet.
Oh,
And that's definitely kind of an ode to like your process as an actor, I think.
I just
Zone in on Naida. So being Naida, what I would be really curious to know, like, what is, if somebody were to ask for like a really quick Cliff Notes version of your process as an actor when you attach yourself to a character, like what's your quick like A through Z?
um, it's basically the same with every project, no matter what the project is.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I completely commit, and I feel I have to do everything to become her, to bring the character alive and make her as real as possible, and within the confines of the writers and the directors who have created and have a vision. I feel it's my responsibility to become what they envision. You can ask the two directors, and they'll tell you like I learned to read the beam.
Yeah.
So that's how committed. Not like I know that as any character in any story, um, you're just a character.
Hmm.
So you can't see everything that's going on, nor should you, because as a human in your life, you're living life, but you don't know that 3 doors away, um, someone's, curing cancer. You don't know that. But so that's how I approach it. Okay.
It looks lovely. Oh, now I see more of the art piece too.
So yeah, I mean, it would also be a good question to like talk to the two directors. Like what was she like?
Yes.
Like the the characters for me become very personal.
No, completely. And I think what helped too with The Accursed is that our directors wrote the script, and so they had backstories for all of the characters, which I found really helpful. And you don't always get that luxury working with writer directors.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that really helps with actors such as yourself who really like to immerse themselves in the character's mind. Yeah. So, well, then I guess I would be curious then to know, this is something that I ask a lot of people that I have here and that I talk to, and everybody has different answers. And I would be curious to know, have you found yourself latching on or relying on acting or creativity in general, because you're creative all around, as an emotional outlet in your life?
I think as an artist, because my first memories were writing and drawing, I do not know anything other than art. Like, that's who I am. Whether it comes out painting, drawing, sculpting, photographing, or acting, or making films, like, I don't know anything else. I am an emotional person, so I wouldn't say that I need to hide behind anything.
Right.
If you spoke to anyone who was close to me, they'd be like, no.
Right. No, and that's perfect too, because that's kind of the second part of my question is sometimes I ask actors, do you ever struggle to open up to people because of your profession and because your profession is so draining? Do you find yourself detaching in everyday life?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's the healthier way to go.
I, again, it's part of my life. So that would be like saying, do you take your arms off when you go home? It's like, what? Like,
Right.
no. I have been told in relationships that I bring it home and it takes a toll. I personally don't feel that. But, if you look at any artist, actress, whatever, like, I think even if you were a neurosurgeon, how can you slice someone open and try to fix them and then go home and, cut the steak and have a normal conversation?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that anything you do touches everything else.
Do you ever have favorites or because the reason I'm phrasing it this way is because I've had actors and some actors from the Accursed answer this completely different ways. So do you find yourself having favorite and least favorite scenes ever, or does it not work like that for you?
It doesn't work like that for me, because it's a person. I mean, are there scenes that I really enjoy more than I have more fun? Yes. Or I feel like I do things? Yes. But in the end, like, I can't have any judgment because I have to be.
Right.
But me, like, when you're playing this person, you have fun doing this or that, I can, there's all sorts of things always. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, I've known Yancy for, like, lifetime, but I've never worked with her. So, it was really fun to play her sister.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially because there's kind of a foundation there already.
And Mayra had cast me as her mother in a short film she made a million years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, like, I like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, because those are all such close relationships for Naida, your sister and your daughter.
Yeah.
And it helps so much when you already know the actors and you like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. No. That's great. Yeah, I think that sometimes I find myself recently I've found myself not looking at scenes in terms of better or worse, favorite or not. I think I just approach them all the same way, and sometimes I just have more fun with certain scenes. Yeah, I think that's definitely like the better way of approaching all of your material. um, so, Melora, you've been in the spotlight, and I always like asking, this is another question I like asking people that are in the spotlight that perform. What can you say about how you've experienced yourself in that light? Meaning, like, have you always felt, for a lack of a better word, worthy of that attention?
Okay, so I have never felt that I was in the spotlight.
Interesting.
So I am lucky to get a job, and then I do my work, and I hope I please the people, and I go home.
And that's how you view it.
Yeah. And I do not, I know people who are, quote unquote, in the spotlight. That's not ever been part.
I think that's really interesting that even though some people who have seen you and who have seen your work and who admire your work may view you in that light, that's not your perception of it.
No, for instance, if I go to jury duty, you know, which um, I remember, like, it's like I'm Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak. Like, people will go, "What do you do?" And I'll, you know, I go through, well, I'm an artist and I'm a mother and I write. And they look at me and they're like, "So how many kids?" Like, basically, they decide I'm a mother. And I am. So I really don't, like, you know, we all know people who can't go to jury duty. So that's the spotlight.
No, I completely, I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. And I think that there's different levels of being in the spotlight. It comes in different shapes and forms. I mean, oftentimes directors and writers and producers, they're not as much in the spotlight, even though they're like the masterminds behind what you see, because people don't know their faces.
Right. Yeah. So I will say that I've been really fortunate to work with like some brilliant genius minds. So that, you know, that was only in this field as an actress. So, like, you know, Paul Thomas Anderson is like flat out genius as far as I'm concerned. Ridley Scott, I just worked with like 2 or 3 days, and the man, like, is the way he handled me I was just, this man is genius, fine. He's a fine artist. And he started out studying art with David Hockney. They were in art school together. So it
Oh,
makes
wow.
Aza Jacobs more recently directed me in The Lovers. And again, like, to be given actual material and how he worked with me was just like such a gift. And the most recent is David Hollander. Like, I like genius level and so kind. So I've been fortunate to meet these incredible art genius artists. But again, you know, like, I can say, you know, like certain doctors, or, you know, or there's a garbage man that you know, got the garbage right around when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
No one was quite wearing their mask. No one knew what to do. And he just stopped and, you know, smiled and said hello. And I was like, I don't think I've met someone so gifted and kind human being in my life.
I love that. I love when I hear that people who are equally, that people that are equally as genius as they are kind and nice to people around them.
Just, yeah, like, so what I would give to have met Mozart.
Right?
Yeah.
But we're just not in that generation.
No.
Unfortunately. Do you have, this is completely segueing, but do you actually have somebody who is not around anymore that you would love to have sit down and have a coffee with?
No.
No?
No.
Not even Mozart?
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, like that? Oh my God, I'm in love with so many dead men. Like,
Melora, that's the best thing somebody has said on my life.
I should, like, write a novel about my dead lovers. I'm just like, I'm in love with Mozart. I'm in love with Beethoven. I'm in love with Pablo Neruda. I'm in love with Tarkovsky. I'm in love with Borges. I'm in love with Edvard Munch. You know, like, I'm in love with Ingmar Bergman. I'm in love with Fellini. I'm like, I'll read a poem and I'm like, oh, I love him. Like, it's like madly in love with these dead people. So yeah, I should have a tea party, or like a giant feast. Like, there's a film.
I agree. There's a film.
Yeah.
That would be
Create
a fun one, actually.
dead men.
Oh, I would see it. Just hire some really great actors to play these really great people.
That's the problem.
Is having people portray.
Yeah, because you lose something there. So I think it's the intangibility and the mystery of it that makes it more It sounds, like gothic romance, but it's not. It's like I genuinely like, this is someone who touches my soul.
No, I completely see that. It just sounds like, unfortunately, we're living in the wrong time for
So
that. What about me? I don't. Oof, there's so many. There's
right?
so many. It's hard, right? It's hard to kind of really think on who I would want to talk to.
Attila the Hun.
I just feel like there's so many. Like there are so many artists that I would love. Like I love Amy Winehouse. You know, I love, there's a lot of musical artists that I love. I love Prince. Like there's a lot of musical artists that I admire as performers that I would have loved to talk to, but that's just grazing the surface. I feel like we could write like a whole book, a whole screenplay of just time traveling and meeting these people. Yeah. That would be something. That would, and on that note, Melora, you are just so wonderful in The Accursed. Your performance is one of my favorites, if I can just say that. So, you really stand out, and I just adore you as Naida. And if anybody here hasn't seen it yet, Melora is fabulous.
You're fabulous.
Oh.
Is singing in The Accursed. What was that like for you? What was it like for you having created it from the ground up and then seeing it? I'd like to know that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I attached in 2017 as a producer, and we had the Indiegogo campaign, and then we got the rest of the funds. We spent another 2 years getting the rest of the funds, and then my favorite part of it was the pre-production of it, because now we had finally gotten to attach actors such as yourself and all of our crew, you know, Austin, and people that had come on and had really seen the vision that the director saw. I think that was honestly, like, that to me was more fun even than doing the post-production and seeing everything shot, because it was so exciting to put the pieces together and to choose the creators that were going to come on and make it what it is now.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
It's kind of the reverse of what you would ask me about, like, all these dead people.
Yeah.
What's it like to work with people you've known your whole life?
That's a good question. Like my mother?
Yes.
Easy. Easy. I think because I don't know if everybody can say the same, but I think with my mom and I, it's unique just because I've been working with her since I was 7 years old. So it's so natural that sometimes we forget we're mother-daughter.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Catherine's just been in my life forever. So I don't really view her as an elder or somebody who is, you know, like a mom. I view her as a friend and a colleague.
Right.
So, yeah, it's natural. I mean, you know, I think if anything, it just sometimes seeps into your relationship, into your everyday life when you're working together, and it's hard to separate. But
Right.
if you can find that balance, I'm happy I have it, because it's I feel lucky to be able to work with somebody like my mom, you know, to be able
Right.
to work closely with her.
She's
Because,
amazing. I love her too. So.
oh yeah, I think she is, and I just love what they did with the film, and I love their minds as creators. So I feel lucky working with the two of them.
I love Catherine too, I should say that. So.
Yeah, no, I know, and they know that. They loved you. Like, it's great when you meet actors that you love to work with, because then you can work with them again and
Right.
you know, write roles for them that you have in mind. I know that they've got that in mind already, so yeah. But yeah, no, oh, this is fun. We would do like a little back and forth bounce. I like that. But yeah, so I just, you know, I wanted to say thank you so much for being on here with me today, and for telling everybody a little bit about your process as an artist.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely, Melora. And everybody, somebody asked what the name of the film is. So the film is called The Accursed, and it's out now on VOD. So you can see it on iTunes and Amazon, YouTube. The link is in the bio of Almost Normal Productions if you would like to check it out. And again, thank you, Melora.
Thank you.
Yes, have a beautiful day. Mwah.
You too.
Bye.